So we're under a tornado watch here in southern Ontario in various parts where I am today. And well, I just had to turn the camera on when a lull came, but the winds have been coming and going. It drove me away from the picnic table and into the shelter here. But my point is, I'm seeing on the internet today a lot of, what would you say, concern about engine oil supplies running into problems in the state, starting with diesel engine oil. This is of grave concern, is it indeed so? And I'm seeing enough of it that, well, I'll come to it in a minute, that, I'm not sure I don't put any precedence in it, let's say. So, if this is indeed the case, man, trains, planes, automobiles, farm tractors, trucks, everything needs it. You think you're just going to replace it all with electric vehicles tomorrow? Not going to happen. So, let's go back a step. This is a video I've thought about making before anyways. How is engine oil made? Well, I could do some background on this. To make it really quick, I had an engineer's handbook from Petro-Canada. That was not available to the public at the time. I won't explain how that came to be loaned to me at the time, and it took me about a week to digest my way through it. However, condensed version, I'll use Petro-Canada as an example. When they're done refining the oil, it comes out the tap. Literally, it is baby oil. You can drink it. Won't poison you. If you drink a little too much, you'll probably die of hydration and dysentery. But it's in gummy bears, it's in makeup, Vaseline, petroleum jelly. It's really harmless. It's been refined, removing all of the impurities. At that point, it's converted into engine oil, gear oil, transmission fluid, hydraulic fluid, 80-90 weight high point gear oil, all of your greases, high pressure greases, high temperature greases, blah blah blah. It's turned into that with additives. It's clear when it comes out of the tap. And I said to the fellow who lent me this book at the time, I said, oh, it's a shame we can't make engine oil clear. We'd know when it was dirty. He laughed. He said, oh, you think the engineers aren't trying to work on that one? Excuse me. But anyways, this leads us to diesel engine oil has a lot more additives in it than regular gasoline engine oil. And the term synthetic oil is a misnomer. It was a marketing strategy 30 years ago or something. It's not synthetic oil or semi-synthetic oil. It's oil, petroleum-based motor oil, just with more additives in it. This is how we went from having straight weight oils, 30 weight straight weight, and then we had 1030 weight oil, and then it was a long time before we developed what we now call synthetic oils, where you can have a 5W40 or a 016 for some of the new cars. We have this diversity in weights. I'm not going to get much further into how and why that happens. Synthetic oil was developed for jet engines because, in a nutshell, to condense it, simplify it, regular oil doesn't start working until it hits 150 degrees Fahrenheit, and it stops working at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It starts to break down and wax out, they call it. The impurities make deposits as the oil is heated up too much. Semi-synthetic the oil's range goes, it starts working at 100 degrees Fahrenheit and goes up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, either of those oils and temperature ranges are absolutely fine for just about everything except the most extreme applications. Ooh, that wind is coming up. The fully synthetic oil starts working at 50 degrees Fahrenheit and goes all the way up to 650 degrees before it begins to break down. Now, almost anything short of a jet engine is never going to get anywhere near heating the oil to 650 degrees Fahrenheit. But what is important is the startup temperature. In the dead of winter, how long does it take to warm up this engine oil? So, a lot of people won't touch synthetic oil. Some people won't do without it. But most people don't understand that window of temperature. And in our Canadian winters, I would think, as a mechanic, that the fully synthetic oil pays for itself in that engine oil starts to work a whole lot faster, the synthetic, than the non-synthetic. So, back to, are we going to have an engine oil crisis? Well, this just seems to be breaking news on the internet, and I'm giving you some information that if you want to follow it, you'll understand a little more about what they're talking about when they say, I believe the one fellow was saying, or the one site, that is it only Shell and Chevron that makes the additives in the oil? Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But without the additives, we don't have engine oil. So, I guess I better go buy a jug for my car. It burns a little, and with one 4 or 5 liter jug, I'd be fine for a year. I can just keep topping it up. Same with my tractors. Diesel, and well, I run diesel oil in the gas tractor as well. It's about the zinc and molybdenum, but yeah, I digress. But it might be worth putting a couple of jugs of oil aside, because you can't run baby oil in your engine. And I'll summate by saying a humorous story. However many years ago it was, when China opened up to international trade, you know, opened their red doors of communism, the petroleum engineer guys went over there, and the Chinese weren't adding any additives to their engine oils. They were just pouring in the baby oil. And the big engine oil guys, or big oil petroleum company guys, said, "What? No additives?" And they said, "Oh, no, that's we have the best base stock in the world. Our city buses get 3,000 miles in between engine rebuilds." And they were serious. And can you imagine, the big petroleum companies went, "Oh boy, yeah. Oh man, are we gonna just make gobs of money off the Chinese here? Wow." And as a humorous aside, as I finish this video, at the same time the Chinese approached the world market, they needed some more foodstuffs, as they were bringing their peasants in from the rice fields into the cities and the factories. So they put out a tender. They wanted to buy cheese, like a lot of cheese. I don't know, forget now, it was decades back. And they worked out a deal with the Swiss. And when they got their first shipment, they went ballistic. They flipped right out because the cheese was full of holes. Swiss cheese. Yeah. They thought they were getting ripped off. They had to send diplomats back and forth to straighten out all of this mess. They had to explain to the Chinese, you're paying for it by the pound, not the square foot. So, anyways, back to the engine oil thing. If anybody's got something clean and concise on all this, maybe put it in the comments so other people can check it out. But it just gets crazier and crazier every day, doesn't it? Wow, sure does. Oh, yeah. I don't see my chickens. I should have a look around. Maybe they know something instinctively that I don't, but this wind